We're just out here checking out the bison, right?
Yeah.
Out here, and I'm with Claire, the animal care specialist out here at Big Bone Lick State Park, and we're just having a grand time, aren't we, Claire?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a gorgeous day here at the park.
Yeah, for sure. And so the park has been around for 65 years, right? But the prehistoric establishment of this area, it goes much further back.
Absolutely.
Right. So can you tell the viewers a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. So Big Bone is a famous Ice Age park, or from the last major ice age called the Pleistocene. And we focus on the end of the Pleistocene here, which is around the last 10 to 20,000 years. And that's when Big Bone was not covered in ice, right? Not covered by glaciers, which made the area that is now the park a habitable place for these animals, but also had our salt springs, which drew these animals in.
That's super cool. What, the salt springs, are they around here?
Yeah, so we still have two accessible salt springs on the park on our Big Bone Creek Trail. The furthest spring is only a quarter mile from the museum.
Wow, that's super cool. And so there's some famous people that are attached to this park, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of famous figures were involved here with Big Bone, especially when the area was first discovered. You know, they came upon this site in 1739 and there were bones all over the surface, and they were like, oh my gosh, you know, what are these animals? What are they from? What happened here? So some of the most famous names would be Lewis and Clark. Both Lewis and Clark came here to Big Bone to collect bones, and they were sent by President Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson would have been the major famous figure driving things here at Big Bone, but other figures like George Washington and Benjamin Franklin all knew about Big Bone.
That's super cool. So what are some of the bones and some of the fossils that people could find here in the museum area of Big Bone Lick?
Yeah, so we're most known for our Pleistocene fossils, which would be any of your mega mammals from the Ice Age. So think Columbian mammoth, Harlan's ground sloth, ancient bison, complex tooth horse, and several others.
Yeah, cool. And so, you know, we're out here. It's not too hot. It's a little sweaty, right? But what is sort of your idea of the best time of year to come out to Big Bone Lick?
My favorite time would either be the spring or the fall for the wildflowers that are coming out. Personally, fall is my favorite season, so the fall time here is great. We've got the leaves changing, fall wildflowers coming out. We also have our big festival in the fall, the Salt Festival, the third weekend in October.
That's awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Salt Festival focuses all around, you know, the days of Big Bone past when this area was becoming a community. People were primarily making salt. We had a brief commercial salt works here from about 1790 to 1812 where they were mass producing salt for sale. So the festival centers around that, but it's all about, you know, settler life in Kentucky, indigenous lifeways and all that.
All right, good deal. So I think after this, we're gonna go check out some other spots and other things that visitors can do here, like my favorite, fishing. So why don't we go ahead and check that out?
Let's do it.
Man, Claire, I have to say, those bison were really cool. It was a special treat to go see those, I'm not gonna lie. Now that we're over here at Big Bone Creek, let's talk about some fishing, because obviously we're in the gear, right?
Yeah, that's right. So Big Bone Creek is stocked biannually with typically trout, typically brown trout from the Wolf Creek hatchery. But we also have loads of native species like bluegill, sunfish, occasional catfish, and some bass.
Yeah, of course. And so Big Bone is going through some renovations, right?
Right.
So what are some of those that fans and participants of the park can enjoy soon?
Yeah, so there's some projects that are already completed, and these funds for this came from a 2024 allocation of about $63 million from Governor Beshear, and so Big Bone was thankful to be included on that list of projects. So our projects that are already done include the Bison Observation Deck, which is a raised ADA accessible platform to view the bison virtually anywhere they may be. There's also some fixed binoculars, including an ADA accessible pair of binoculars there on the deck. And then across from the deck is our brand new shade barn, which was a new USDA regulation to offer a permanent shade structure for the bison, and then it also keeps their hay feed dry in the winter. So guests can come see those now. And then we've got our newest project going on in the museum parking lot. We're building what we're calling a Discovery Center, which will be kind of like an extension of the current museum, but the exhibits are going to be made to be more immersive, interactive. Think of tactile exhibits, things you can touch, you know, drawers you can pull out and explore. And so we're really excited about that one.
Yeah, that's super sick. So the park has received a new national designation, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So what exactly is that?
Yeah, so we were recently designated in the fall of 24 as a National Historic Landmark, and we're given that designation due to the site's prevalent fossil history, especially Pleistocene fossils that really developed the field of paleontology as a science both nationally and internationally. That goes hand in hand with our national natural landmark, which the park received in 2008, and we're now one of only 16 sites in the entire U.S. that hold both a national natural landmark and a national historic landmark designation.
That's super cool. Well, all right, Claire, I think it's about time we get to some fishing, ain't that right?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Well, if you guys would like to come down to Big Bone Lake Park, it's open every day, and you guys can have the time of your lives out here, see some bison, do some fishing, and if you guys would like to learn more, all you need to do is go on down to parks.ky.gov to learn more.